I'm Larry Souder, and welcome to Souder Friends. For many years, Susan Meredith Beyer performed all across America and in other countries, on concert stages, on major television shows, with her own band, and with Grand Ole Opry star Whispering Bill Anderson. But Susan says her pursuit of stardom nearly cost her everything. Here's part one of her story she shared with me before a live audience. Tell us about your family, a very religious family, loved God. Not so.
No. Unfortunately, my family did not know the Lord, did not go to church, and didn't want to hear about it.
Were you seeking the Lord at all during that time yourself?
You know what? Somebody said that I must have always been kind of spiritual, drawn. The first song I ever wrote, I was 12 years old, and I wrote a song. I don't know what I had done. I must have done something really, really awful, because I went in my bedroom and I wrote a song called Don't Let Me Go Down Below.
Don't let me go down below? You mean below?
Yeah. Maybe I'm a sinner and maybe I'm not. I hear you calling and your voice is hot,
Wow.
Don't let me go down below. That was it.
Well, tell us how you got into the music business and seeking fame and fortune by singing.
Well, in school, from the time I saw my first movie and my first television, I wanted to be a singer and I wanted to be a movie star. I wanted to act. I could die better than anybody in the world in my bedroom. I practice all the time. And so I knew I was going to be a star one day, and I never got there, but I hoped for that. And so it was so, I guess in school I did several musicals. I sang with a dance band, and I sang with some professional orchestras around San Francisco. But I was 14 years old, trying to dress like I was 18. I was a little lost girl trying to be a big girl. I made a very big mistake. I got married when I was 17, 18 years old. And by the time I was 23, I had 3 beautiful children and a divorce. I thought I would never sing again. I was too busy raising children, and I was selling real estate. One of the realtors was a band leader, and he called me up one night he said, come on over to the club and sing a song. He said, I can make you another Linda Ronstadt, if that tells you when that was. Anyway,
And you bought into it?
I did, I bought into it. Anyway, he put me out on the road with a 5-piece band. We toured for a long time, and at some point, I met Whispering Bill Anderson out on the road. And we traveled for 4 years. We traveled so much that I felt like I was really neglecting my children. This is what happened to me.
Oh, Satan made me an offer. He promised great fortune and fame. He said my picture would be on front pages, and all the country would know my name. So I traveled the whole world over, yes, and I sang in the bright lights and the bars.
You traveled a lot and you stayed in motels, and there was a Gideon Bible in a motel.
I had a tackle box for my makeup, and I would use those books and Bibles as a prop, isn't that terrible, for my makeup case lid. One night I was sitting there and I tried to read. Kept getting to the begats and I'd stop. Well, we'd travel some more, I'd pick up another Bible. If you've been in church all your life, you don't realize that a lot of people have never looked at a Bible. And so they think it's like a book, but of course it's 66 books. And I didn't know where to find Jesus. I had never heard of the Holy Spirit. But then one night I was riding down the highway, and my road manager was driving the van. And he said, Susan, why don't you read the Bible? Because I was sitting there reading some novel. And he said, why don't you read the Bible? And I said, well, why don't you mind your own business? But it kind of ate at me. It kept, why don't I read the Bible? Why can't I read the Bible? It was only a couple of days later, I go into my motel room, and there's this Good News for Modern Man, if you know what that is. It's kind of a paperback Dick and Jane version of the New Testament. And I began to read it. I read the book of Acts, and I told my road manager, I said, I don't understand this. And I slammed the book down. And he said, what's the matter? And I said, well, who did this Jesus think he was, God or something? And he just looked at me and went, just a silly smirk on his face. And I really got to thinking about that. Well, there was a lot more road ahead of me. So I wasn't ready to find the Lord, but I was interested.
Now I won't trade the old rugged cross to sing your cheating heart.
On the next Souder and Friends, Susan Meredith Beyer says God spoke 4 words, and everything changed. I'm Larry Souder, and that's Souder and Friends.